Jake, what's going on, my man?
Hey, how you doing, Jeremy? What's going on?
Doing well, brother. Where you calling me from?
From like North Texas, Dallas area.
Okay, cool,
How
man.
about
I'm right
yourself?
underneath you. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, man. It's like scorching hot out here today. It's like 100 degrees.
Yeah, it's been 110 here for like a month, so I gotcha.
Yeah, that's brutal, brother. All right, man. So today's call is really all about you. Just want to get a better indication on who you are, what you're about, maybe provide some strategies to get you to that next level. If this is something that you're like, yeah, this is cool, we'll talk about it. If not, no big deal. I'll give you some resources. We'll part ways as friends. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. Before we start, hell of a beer, brother. I like it.
You too. I like it too.
All right, my man. So I did a little bit of research. It looks like, are you like a hybrid trainer? Then you're doing in person and online. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I still like doing the in-person stuff, so it's not like I'm looking to completely get away from it. I just am a very personable person, and I really love the connections and the relationships I have with my in-person clients. Like some that came to me before they could, do a lunge and now they're leg pressing 300 pounds, and like that type of stuff. I don't want to lose, like regardless of money or anything else.
For sure. Cool. How many in person clients are you currently servicing?
Sorry, let me count. Between 5 and 6. It just depends on the week.
Five and six. Okay. And are those like one time a week? Or are those two times a week? What's your average client doing?
2 to 3 times a week.
Cool. And what is your price points per session?
Yeah, 70 for an hour and then 45 for 30 minutes.
I gotcha. Cool. And how many online clients do you have?
Roughly 30.
30. Cool. What's the price point on that?
So it's kind of been all over the place just from like getting started to now. Do you want the now price or like what the average is?
Yeah, give me the now, like what you're currently doing.
So I'm currently charging 350 for a month for 3 months and then 300 a month for 6 months. And that's for
Gotcha.
like fitness and nutrition. So I have some people that are just one or the other. And if they're just one or the other, then it's 270 for 3 months, or 220 for 6 months.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So yeah, you're right, just above the industry average on like the between like the upper and lower end. So 350 is not bad. You could always change that out, man. When I started doing it, I was a hybrid trainer for been a master trainer for over 15 years. My in-person rates were 150 per session. So I
Mhm.
definitely hike your prices up. What kind of certifications do you have underneath your belt?
So I have my CSCS, so my certified strength conditioning specialist. I'm a certified nutrition coach through Precision Nutrition, and then
Got it.
I have a master's degree in exercise science.
Yeah, man, we need to bump those prices up in your in person, man. Come on, man. At least like I'd say like 100 a session at the minimum, like with what you got going on, and you live in a really good area to where people have that type of income. Um, are you targeting anyone specifically? Do you work with like a specific type of niche of individuals?
Well, so I actually just like yesterday decided that I wanted to niche down to working with people that are obese and severely overweight. So like to work with people that really need help. So the ones that are entering that like life-threatening kind of range is where I would like to be, just because I don't get the same fulfillment from helping somebody lose 5% body fat as I did for someone like I work with a teenager right now who weighed like 415 pounds and like now he weighs like 368, right? And so like
Yeah,
that that to him made all the difference in his entire life.
gotcha. Cool, man. That is awesome. Now, as far as your in person or your online, I'm sorry, could probably jump those up a little bit too. So, like when I was doing online quite a bit when I first started out, I did 4, 8, and 12. So that's what their options were. If they did month to month on a contract for 4 months, it was equivalent to 450. 8 months was equivalent to 375, and a year was equivalent to 350. So yes, they saw the prices dwindle down the longer they're with me. Yes, they save a little bit of money up front, but in long term, I'm getting more consistency. I have more results for them, and I have predictable data every single month. So I'm getting a larger payout over a longer period of time. Now at 8 and 12 months, they no longer look at me as a coach. They look at me as like a trusted friend that's getting them results, right? So it's harder for them to say, I don't want to continue. So I'm locking them in much longer. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. So even if you just hike them up a little bit and then had a little incentive just to go down a little bit as well, The reason I don't do 3 months very often is that's just when we're scratching the surface with habits. At 4 months, their habits are completely changed out. 8 months, they have a whole physical transformation, and 12 months, they have a whole lifestyle change. So it's much more easier for me to solidify them that way, and it gets more of a buy-in because those are the type of individuals that I want to commit to me a lot longer. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, and so when I was thinking about niching down with this like particular group, I thought about really only offering 6 and 12 month situations because for these people, it's a it would have taken them 30, 40 years to get to this point where it was became like life threatening or close,
Mm-hmm.
or they're entering that range. And so 3 to 6 months probably isn't even enough time for them to really like see too much of a difference. When you were having your clients pay that, like was it monthly or did you have them pay up front?
Well, my goal was with any trainer, get them to pay up front if they can, if they can afford it. So my specific niche was men 35 to 50 that are high level executives. So usually they're well situated in their careers. I'm not having to negotiate, right? But if they couldn't, because I also get some general population in there as well. Hey, totally get that you can't do paid in full. Let's just go month to month and it'll be on auto reoccurring drafts, right? So end of the day, it still worked out really well. The majority of those individuals were actually signing for 8 and 12. So 95% of those people were doing that. I really like their idea of maybe just doing 6 and 12, especially with the demographic you're going to be working with, because it's going to take us a long time because not everyone's going to be able to hop on macros. A lot of it's going to be, how to build a healthy plate for their goals, then maybe some intuitive eating, stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's what
mean?
I figured. 90% of them would be like intuitive eating, where like they more take pictures of foods and
Yeah.
like kind of go on stuff like that. And like I've even done it like with the kid I was talking about. We more or less just like pick one thing each week to like add in,
Yeah.
right? So like,
I
hey,
love that.
this week we're gonna add in like a protein shake and as a snack, when you get hungry. And like that was
Yeah.
his like super easy thing to do that week.
And that's brilliant because you want people to be like very small, almost hardly noticeable changes. Like there was a lady
Mm,
that was training. She came to me and she's like, I drink 8 Mountain Dews a day and I'm not going to stop. And I'm like,
mhm.
cool. And she's like, cool. And I'm like, yeah. Well, how about this? For the first 3 weeks, we just do 7 a day.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's it. I'm like, that's the only change that we're going to do. And you're actually going to work out 3 days a week. That's it. And then it went from 7 to, hey, the next 3 weeks we're going to go to 6. And then started seeing, some momentum. What else can we do? Hey, I also eat pizza 3 times a week. Cool. So what I do is I program that in 4 or 5 days a week to get her naturally sick of that. And then eventually she was like, okay, so now she sees this changes. And she was with me for over 2 years because after she got that bind, she's like, okay, he's not making me on a starvation diet. He's not restricting. He's saying, go ahead and do this, but it's one small tweak each week. I love that you're doing that. Gets that confidence, it gives that trust, and it doesn't seem like so invasive to them, right?
Oh
Because if
yeah,
you're telling them
totally.
you can't have that, natural to say, I want that,
Hmm.
right?
Oh, for sure.
Cool. So overall, why are we on this call? I'm assuming you want some more financial freedom, some more flexibility. What else are we looking for?
Yeah, that's so the main things I'm looking for here is to this is a lonely career. Like
Yeah,
it's just you, right? It's like I don't know what I don't know, and that's a problem. So like I want to learn the skills to scale my business on my own. And so the issue I'm having is I don't know what the system is. I don't know if there's a better scalable model for like my coaching specifically because I really feel like I could only sustainably hold about 30 to 35 clients at a time online.
yeah,
And if they're super engaged, probably 30, because like when people sign up, some of them just aren't very engaged. Like some of
right.
them like will miss tons of check-ins. So like super engaged clients, like 30. And I want to try to scale to that 20, 30K a month range. And I hit my highest month ever with in person at 11 last month, and that was with literally just shooting in the fucking dark. So like I didn't know why I was running ads or doing anything. I was just making it happen based on referrals, social media posts, and so I hope that makes sense for what I
Yeah.
said. That didn't just ramble on about that.
No, that makes 100% sense. Like, I like that you are very invested in yourself and trying to figure out ways to your problems, right? We typically don't have anyone running ads right out the gate where a lot of companies will, because why would we want you to spend money on that when we can really maximize social media, right? Referrals. I love that you're maximizing that. A really cool way to maximize even more local, you need to get partnered up like a local supplement company. So that's what I do down here. I get 30 referrals a month because I support their business through my clients. So I get discounts, and they give me 30 referrals a month. So every time someone's calling me, hey, I got your number from Jason, I'm already closing down those calls at a 60% clip or greater. So that's not even touching social media,
Well,
right?
and that's where I was hoping with like maybe the obese, severely overweight side that I would try to
Yeah,
find some like local doctors that would refer out as far as like, well,
huge.
I don't think your insurance is going to cover this because, XYZ. Like insurance is only going to cover it if they're like dying. Like if they're actually
Sure.
going to die from it, then like, yes, they may cover. And I don't like Ozempic and stuff like that, but like those semi-glutide injections that just like an
Yep.
appetite, like they're not going to cover that shit unless it's an actual medical condition. So like
Hmm.
I was hoping to get into some of those like maybe patient doctors offices around the area and to see if they can't refer to me from there to work with some of their clients that are, approaching that range.
Yeah, I like that idea as well. And then also even going to like, local weight loss areas. I don't know if you guys got like Herbalife little shake areas. People will, I'm not a huge Herbalife guy, but I know a couple people that own those little shops that have the healthy teas. I'll go in there and do like a free seminar for an hour once a month, 15 to 20 referrals off of that, because
Mhm.
people are spending a lot of money on just like $14 on a tea because
Yeah.
they think it's going to help them, right? They're going to invest more money on something that can actually deliver them results to supplement what they're currently putting in their body as well. Just really easy ways. My wife's a healthcare provider. Some of the most unhealthiest people are healthcare providers. So I already have an in with her group, and these are high level CEOs where I'm saying, hey, let me come talk to your employees. I can show you how to maximize your return on investments. We have less sick days. We're getting more hours put into use. And then again, easy way to not even have to utilize social media quite yet. So when we
Mm.
do go to social media, that's where things are going to change. So right when you're hitting about, I'd say 8 to 10K a month on a consistent basis, we could probably start looking at running ads, maybe even bringing in a DMer as well. So you can kind of step away from the day-to-day monotonous activities and look to more like the scaling approach, which I'll show you here in a little bit. Outside of that, anything else that we're trying to accomplish here? I know you mentioned you want to get to 20 to 30K a month. What else are we trying to do?
Uh Man, I think the consistent, like I actually enjoy the sales side of stuff, so like being on calls. So like I think just like kind of before we were talking about the consistent like lead generation on
Gotcha.
that, which I mean, I don't need it to always be like fantastic, but I would love to sign up like a client a week or a client every 2 weeks, just to have like a consistent income in that. And like I was hoping to get my core offer somewhere into like the, $3,000 to $5,000 range for like a year, right? So like
Gotcha.
that way it's in that same range of, 3 to 500 a month. But maybe getting people to pay up front on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, like everybody would love to charge $10,000 and
For
get
sure.
that, like that's a fucking dream. But like, just whatever the realistic nature of it is, because again, this is the lonely part where I have these numbers in my head, but you guys work with coaches all the time. So I would love to know what, y'all tell your coaches to charge and what you offer to your clients. Maybe I'm on not offering enough. Maybe I'm offering way too much. I don't know.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about this is you would have an assigned one-on-one coach. The coach that you're paired up with is someone who's completed both our foundational program, 10K and mastery level. So they have that 6 or 7 figure business that you're striving for. So they can give you resources, give you accountability, a very structured game plan, step by step. So if you're like a type A type of person and you're really good with lists and checking things off and getting things done, you'll have no problem, which I'm really excited to show you about here in a little bit. Outside of that, it sounds like you've got multiple certifications, you've done some social media, it looks like you ran a little bit of ads. Anything else that we've done to try to mitigate these issues and make this more profitable for you?
Yeah. So I hired a marketing agency over the last 4 months, and I paid them. I think because I'll have to pay them for next month regardless, which is fine. I mean, that's in their contract, so I'm not going to make a big deal about it. But I probably paid them almost 7 grand, like over the last like 4.5 months here, and I've signed one person at
Ouch.
yeah at 350 a month. So like, and they're going to start paying on September 1st. So we both know that like between now and then, like hopefully they're still in it. They signed all my paperwork, so like they've signed a contract that they will. But I mean, if he were to ghost me, it's not like I could afford to like. Not that I even want to like send a lawyer to like try to get money for me on that. It's not like it'd even be worth
Right.
it.
For sure, for sure. Cool. So outside of that, like I know we want consistent lead generation. We want the systems, the processes. Is there anything else that you need from a business coaching mentorship, such as accountability or, maybe more support? What else do you need to be successful?
Well, that's basically it. I don't need support. I mean, like, don't be wrong. Like, it's nice to talk, but I don't need support. Like, if you point, I'll do it. I just need help understanding what it is what I'm wasting my time with, what I'm not wasting my time with. That's sort of.
So you just need that clear game plan and make this more efficient and simple for you, and then you're off to the races, right?
Yeah, basically.
I got you. Now, the next 4 to 6 months, where would you like to see yourself different in business than where you're currently at?
I would say in the next 4 to 6 months. So like right now, my average monthly with everything is really between like that 8 and 10K range. And I've
Okay.
been kind of bottlenecked there for the last 4 or 5 months. That's why I hired the marketing agency. And yeah, and so I would say in the next 4 to 6 months, I would love to just see more consistent 10K months would be great. Like I've touched that 2 or 3 times now in the last year, and I would love to consistently see that over 4 to 6 months. Like I understand that like saying 20 to 30K a month in 4 months is a wild thing to say, but like I know it happens for people, but not a lot of people. So just if I could get consistently into 10 month over month, that would be pretty big.
I got you. So this is going to be kind of cool because you're in a unique situation because you started up not too long ago. It's February. Is that correct? When you really got things off and running? Is that what I read?
A year ago from February is when okay, well, sorry. About a year. Sorry. Yes, about a year.
Okay, cool. So you're in a good situation where you're bringing in some pretty good money with the in-person and online. What would happen is when you go through our program and you're out here killing, let's just say within that first couple months, we help you get to that 10K consistently month over month. We can always use what you've currently, invested into and use that credited toward going into mastery level. So mastery levels, when things get like really fine tuned, we're going to make sure this first area that we're going to be talking about today is really plugging up any gaps. It sounds like you've got a lot of great pieces of the puzzle. We're just trying to make this thing fit correctly now, if that's correct. Now, are we averaging 8 to 10K majority on the online area? What would we be making a month without any online people or without any in-person people, I should say?
Without any in-person people, it would be 6. Yeah, it would be around 6 without any in-person people.
Okay. Now, overall, how many in-person people are you still wanting to work with? Is there specific hours that you're wanting to train a week in person? What does that look like?
Just in like the mornings. Like I get up at 4 every day, like every fucking fitness professional does, and then
Yeah.
but like so 5 to 8 a.m. is fine with me. I'm like I
Okay.
really do enjoy training people between like the 5 to 8, 5 to 9 hour range. I already don't take people in the evenings. I just
Okay.
don't like it, and I get you get up this early, like going to the evenings, just a beating. Yeah, that's when I work out is in the evening, so that's kind of like
Okay.
my time.
Yeah, 100%. We want to have that healthy balance. Now, let me ask you this. It sounds like you've invested in marketing agencies. You're trying to get past this sticking point. What happens if nothing changes in the next 12 months? Where do you see it? How would that affect your business? How would that affect you personally?
I mean, not really, honestly. I mean, like, I know that sounds strange. I just like, I was making, 7 to 8K a month on my own with nobody and not paying anybody anything. And I know I
Yeah.
can always go back to that. So, like, it would suck to lose money. I mean, whatever, it's all write-offs, I guess. But it would suck to lose money in the short term. But I'm kind of looking for a steady 20, 30K a month business over 10 years, not necessarily like, I don't need it to be there tomorrow. But like with this marketing agency, I've seen no growth over the 4 months. And even if we're getting one client a month, that's growth for me. Like I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
like we just need to figure this out. We haven't even scratched the surface yet of like what, and part of the issue and why I wanted to switch over to something like this is like this is what y'all do. Like what I'm doing is what y'all do. This company is just a marketing agency, like they help banks, mortgage, real estate. I'm the only one that they work with in the fitness realm whatsoever. So, they don't
Okay.
really get it.
Yeah, I got you. Let's flip that question though. Let's just say the coaching stuff, the mentorship starts working out really well, and now you're hitting 8 to 10K a month just on online alone, and then you're bringing in an additional 6 to 8K in person. How do you think that would affect your business? What would life look like? What would be able to invest in more with that?
Oh, I mean, definitely more coaching. Like I want to know more. I want to put it more into ad. that was my biggest thing was I would love to put in, you know, $1,000 a month into my ads or more because I know the Facebook leads work. But you know, when I'm paying them 1,500 a month, I don't really have a ton of disposable income to just like throw into more ads, you know. So
Yep,
I mean,
100%.
if worse comes to worse, I can put 1,500 a month into Facebook leads and call the shit out of them myself. Like I don't need somebody to do it for me. I have the time. I just, you know, it's always nice to have a virtual assistant or whatever, but
Yeah, for sure. Cool. I'm gonna do a quick recap, make sure I got everything. If there's anything I missed, we can always go back in and add it. But we're based out of Texas, a hybrid trainer. So right now we're doing about 30 online clients and about 5 to 6 in person, charging between 70 to 45 in person. You got a package for 3 months at 350 per month is what that's equivalent to, and then 300 for 6. Right now, our biggest challenge is leads and marketing and just knowing exactly what systems and processes to utilize. What we need is a clear cut game plan, the correct resources. What we've tried is you're certified in multiple aspects. You've been running ads, you hired a marketing agency. Really, what we need is just a clear cut game plan, something efficient, very simple. And then the next 4 to 6 months, we'd actually like to be at that point where we're hitting 10K a month on a very consistent basis and have more ability to invest more toward ads and things that are going to help scale our business. Is that about right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen. We'll go over high level what we have to offer. I'm actually gonna deep dive and show you exactly how I'm gonna get you to 10K on a consistent basis. Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, my man. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. So as you know, we're the Next Level Coaching Academy. This is a big deal. We are accredited through the Better Business Bureau. So we got a quality rating of an A and of a possible A plus. And we're also backed by 3 of the largest certification companies in the world, ACE, NASM, and ISSA. Now, on the success ladder, we're going to have 2 tiers. We're going to have 10K Accelerator. We're going to have Mastery Level Coach. You kind of fall right in between. So
Yeah,
10K
I know.
Accelerator, this is pretty cool though. So we can, this call is going to be going one of 2 different ways today. So I'm going to kind of go over different options for you, but you're right in that middle point to where you're not necessarily at mastery level, but yet you're not necessarily not at the mastery level, if that makes sense. So 10K is geared for individuals that are, want to get 0 to 10K a month on a consistent basis. The main point here is we're trying to get month over month on a regular, like 3-4 months in a row. Okay. Once we're hitting that on a consistent basis, then we can move into mastery level. And that's when we're trying to hit those 40, 50, 60K plus months, back to back. So we're trying to become more of that CEO of our own business. So we'll teach you how to lead leaders, step away from the daily monotonous activities so you can actually become more of that CEO, if that makes sense. Our program is really broken up into 4 phases. The first thing we want to do is show you how to get more clients quickly, then establish a solid business foundation. We'll help you generate leads organically to maximize your overall reach and develop sales and client retention strategies to help you reach, sustain, and surpass 10K. Now, the support, I mentioned this earlier, you're going to have an assigned one-on-one coach. That individual's been through both programs. So they have that 6 or 7 figure business. You'll have a customized game planning call with that individual to review where you're at, where you want to be, the most efficient way to get there. And then you'll have coaching calls every 2 weeks. So this will be an opportunity to revisit the game plan, make changes, receive feedback, get specific instructions every single time you guys meet. You'll have one-on-one coaching calls as well. This is pretty cool because once you're averaging about 2 to 3 Zoom calls per week and you complete the sales modules, you'll actually have a sales professional help you lock down those leads at a 40% clip or greater. You'll have biweekly roster group coaching calls accompanied by 5 times a week of group support calls that accommodate your current schedule. This would go over client objection handling, client delivery, marketing, lead generation, mindset issues, even case studies as well. You'll also have bonus biweekly group calls with Chad, and then you'll have 24/5 tech support. So that means you can ask your coach any questions you want 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. They're contractually obligated to answer every single one of those. Mental health is really big with us as well. So we created what we call the Zenpreneur method. We help with weekly mindset calls, breath work, meditation, even journaling sessions when you're going through those tough times or those sticking points. Resources, you'll have the course curriculum, you'll have that Zenpreneur method. We even provide done-for-you programming, which is optional. You don't have to utilize that, but there's 3 years worth of workouts here to kind of help you save some time, hours actually each week. And we'll provide you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make those specific changes. We also offer an optional certification at no additional charge. Any questions on that so far?
No, that makes sense.
Awesome. Here's our 4 phases. This is how to get you from 0 to 10K on a consistent basis. Act first. We're going to launch our business. We'll announce to the world who we are, what we're about, but we're going to give you specific strategies to get your first couple clients. Phase two, we're going to make sure you have all your backend systems set up. You're actually a legal company, and then identifying what problems you solve for individuals. Based upon that, we can create our offer and pricing. First two phases for you probably take less than a month. Phase three and phase four, we're going to spend the majority of our time. We're going to maximize our organic marketing strategies to get more leads from all three platforms. We'll show you how to maximize WhatsApp community chat for our lead generation method, and we'll show you how to close down deals more efficiently. Phase four, fine tuning, maximizing those sales skills, developing consistent client delivery systems, but emphasizing the customer support and client retention to keep people happy for longer periods of time. Any questions on those phases?
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of my questions would be like, so it's the organic lead generation methods and stuff through social media. Are you going to go into that more in detail at all, or is that?
Yeah. Yep, I'm just kind of giving you the overview. Then we're actually going to go into every single module. I'm going to show you exactly step by step, exactly each module, so you get to see what's included.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, keep going.
You're all good, my man. Any questions on the 4 phases though?
No, that's good.
All right, man. Cool. So this is going to be our actual course. So there's going to be a total of 33 modules. Each module is going to have an overview link. It'll also be associated with videos. The link in the videos are tutorial style. So they literally go step by step. First step to becoming a full-time coach, we talked about strategies. So right here, we're going to give you one of 3 different. Let me log back in. I was logged out for too long. Give me a second.
No, you're good.
Okay. So we're going to give you a couple different strategies right here. The cool thing is the resources we provide for you are already done for you, so it makes our time more efficient. But geez, why is it doing this? From there, you should be good now. Okay. From there, we got the 10K Accelerator Directory. I want you to view this as like onboarding material that'll help you become a better student. It really shows you how to maximize the program to its fullest capabilities. The success roadmap is pretty cool. It's broken up into 2 phases. What do we need to do to get from 0 to 5K a month on a consistent basis? Then what do we need to do to get to 5 to 10? So very clear expectations, timelines as well on what you need to execute from week to week. Now, based upon your goals, if we're trying to go for 20 to 30K a month, we want to make sure we have daily and evening routines to amplify that. We also know that fear of failure, anxiety, imposter syndrome, those are natural, normal feelings, but we teach you how to move past that to move forward with your overall business. We've also identified the top 10 struggles you'll face as a fitness entrepreneur, but we've provided solutions behind each and every one of these as well. Administration systems and ChatGPT is where things get interesting. Have you started messing around with ChatGPT yet with your programming?
I use it all the time. Yeah.
It's insane, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It writes all my Facebook ads, and I have it write a ton of my captions for social media. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you're on it. So this is perfect. Now, as far as backend systems, you already have like Waiver, Stripe set up, and DocuSign, all that stuff for your client agreements and payments?
Yeah, I have it all through Square.
Okay, cool. So we just show you different options here. As far as being able to book calls and then apply, are you utilizing any apps for your programming? Like we use Trainerize or TrueCoach. What are you using?
Trainerize.
Cool. So yeah, just easy, more convenient ways to get your clients engaged. Same thing for your financial systems. Do you already have your LLC set up?
Yep.
Cool. So some of this stuff is already great. You already got a ton of this. So you already know about the business write-offs, business liability insurance, all that stuff is covered, which is phenomenal. Target setting, we're going to create your 3-year vision, your 1-year vision, your 3-month vision. So we'll deep dive in your specific goals. And then from there, we're going to identify your ideal challenge, as in what problems you solve for individuals, which sounds like you just kind of figured that out with who you're niching down with. Based upon that, we create our offer and pricing. So for you, this is going to be huge. Really understanding the value that you bring with your educational experience. Is this going to be a more do it for you, do it with you, or do it yourself program? So the more that you can do for individuals, the higher the ticket offer. High ticket offer will be established upon your length of terms and what all you're actually doing. So for people that you're going to be working with, this could be massive. If they have the funds to do so, a couple of my high ticket guys give me their credit cards and I literally order all their food for them. I order their supplementations. That gets me over $500 a month on those guys easy because I'm spending additional time creating all their, lists of things that they need to have for success. So you could easily implement that as well. I think that'd be very powerful. From there, organic marketing. So we're going to show you how to do 1 hour's worth of work, get 14 different pieces of content created utilizing some AI software. Once we have all that established, we can then spread this across all of our social media. So we want to introduce you into podcasts and YouTube. We want people to understand who you are, what you're about, and ways to maximize your message so people have a better understanding of who you are. We're showing you how to market for all things Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok related. So it's more than just randomly posting very specific strategies and resources behind each platform, from page aesthetics to page organization, call to actions, reels. We kind of go deep dive into every single option there is, even hashtag use, to get the most out of this. And we track it through data analytics. Same thing with Facebook as well. Okay. You'll probably also be utilizing TikTok as well. Me, I kind of use Facebook and Instagram based upon my age demographic. Majority of my clients are older, so I really don't mess with TikTok too much, but we'll show you how to maximize this as well. Any questions on that so far?
No, I'm already doing most of the stuff. I mean, I don't know based on y'all's like strategies and stuff. Just like I have a podcast, I have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I posted LinkedIn. I post all my reels to shorts on YouTube as well. So I kind of dabbled at least, or I have all that stuff set up already. So I don't know if that would accelerate this or not.
So there's going to be certain things that you already have installed or implemented to where we're going to be able to just get you past that sticking point of 6 to 8K to make it to 10K. Now, this is where I said you're kind of in a unique situation because you're kind of balancing a fine line. I want to show you something else really quick, because after our conversation, how much you've already gotten done, I could really honestly see you in mastery level. I think you'd be able to pick up a little bit faster on this. So essentially what these are going to be like, let me go through this really fast. It's going to be a little bit of a difference on how we're doing our programming for 10K versus mastery result level. So mastery level is going to be designed for kind of like the bells and the whistles, the step-by-step approach on how to like make your product a 10 out of 10, like solidifying everything. There's two different styles. You can do 6 months or 1 year. The majority of individuals do 1 year, and that's where we're helping you get to that 50 to 60 to 100K zone. Master levels to get you from 10K all the way up to 100K. That's the focal point, okay, within 6 to 12 months. Same thing here. You're going to have an assigned coach, but your game planning call will be a very detailed hour call. So a lot of these things, you're still getting the same thing. Besides, from every 2 weeks, you're getting weekly sessions here on coaching calls. So from every 2 weeks to once a week. So your support goes up drastically, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have the same type of things that's included in the program. So you'll still have a private Facebook group. You'll still have the 24/5 tech support. You're going to have all that. But you're also going to have, so for instance, when you decide to bring on an assistant coach, we even have a next level certification where we're talking about Dutch testing, which could be huge, like hormones, advanced supplementation. We have that to where you can utilize that up to 10 assistant coaches. So let's just say you bring on one, you still will have that for 9 other individuals as well. That's going to be added value to you as well. And then this is where we're going to really start talking about the next level of marketing. So right now you ran some ads. How can we make this even more beneficial? Maybe you have an email list. How can we actually get more engagement from that versus what we're currently doing? So here, this is where we're kind of at. You're already solidifying your offer. We could always increase that price point. Like I said earlier, when we first got on the call, I think you raising your prices definitely needs to happen. You got a ton of experience, a wealth of knowledge. Now we're right in this phase where you're trying to figure out who to hire, when to hire. So yes, you don't have to. You started running ads, which is great, but maybe bring on a DMer or at least an assistant coach, doing some things that are going to streamline it to where you can spend more time doing things that are actually going to be a priority for your business versus you spending more time doing something that we could really delegate to somebody else. Okay.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is where we're going to make sure our product is like a 10 out of 10, and leadership phase goes into, now we know who to hire. Now we make those hires underneath us. Phase 2 is like advancing everything to the next level. So as far as marketing that email list, what we're doing through ads, how we can expand our outreach, how we can expand our earned media. And then now the level of leadership is different. How can we put people in those phases? Maybe you have a DMer underneath all the DMers, or you have a sales coach over all the sales program, to where you're not having so many touch points, you're having 1 or 2 people you deal with. Phase 3 is essentially like, now you're getting to the point where if you want to take a vacation for a week, you're not shitting bricks because you're away from the business. It runs kind of on autopilot. You've got someone to do it and you're not stressed. Okay. This is where you're more in that CEO. And now you literally have an operations manager that you deal with. It's like one person of the contact, and they kind of deal with everybody else. So again, it's just fine tuning everything. Okay. So let me go into this. Now I'm going to skip over this because I'm going to show you this stuff as well. So with ours, we have a 3 times guarantee, which we'll go into at the very end. But essentially we're saying whatever you invest in, we can 3 times that amount during your enrollment period, which is huge. Okay. So again, this is a 6 or 12-month program. So a lot of this here is going to be just initial diagnostics. This is kind of what we did earlier in the call. What are we currently doing? What's working for us? What's not working for us? Who do we have on board as we've hired? Have we hired anybody at all? What's our next step? It sounds like you've already ran ads. Awesome. Now we need to talk about maybe bring on an assistant coach, or at least maybe a DMer, so you can start not having to spend so much time there. Okay. From there, we're going to start moving into like the leadership area, and then creating your unique angle. So you started niching down as of what I think you said like a week or two ago on really working with the obese population. How can we create something very unique and specific to maximize those price points that you're asking? And then also creating bonuses and guarantees to get more people to sign on. Okay. Usually when you're in that foundation level, you don't have a ton of bonuses or guarantees, like a money back guarantee. You do in mastery level, and we show you how to do that. And it's got to be specific metrics that are easy to track, right? Then again, we're going through hiring. So when to hire a DMer, when to hire on like an assistant coach, an appointment setter, all those things. So all these modules are literally going to be step by step. So if you click on one of these, off to the right-hand side is going to be all videos. Okay. You go down here where it's going to, this is going to be all of your written material. So when you click on this written material, oops, let me go back. All right. So when you click on this written material, this will cover everything step by step. Okay. So when you click on this, it'll naturally save to your Google Docs. You'll always have access to this. Now, the cool thing about this is you've got a shit ton of stuff already done. The 10K Accelerator program with Mastery Level, you'll have the Mastery Level program and the 10K program for life. So you'll have both of those. So if you decide to start bringing on other individuals, you can teach them and make sure we're plugging up any holes that we might have left behind. But essentially, this will show you exactly step by step in written material. Now check this out. If you go to the videos, this will describe in like, say for instance, when to hire an appointment setter. This guy will go step by step in the videos. So he's literally going through every area, making sure you've already checked that out before we move forward. So it's one of those programs you implement and you execute as you go versus just getting all this material and reading through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me know if you have any questions or if I need to clarify anything else.
No, I mean, I'm so like as far as the last part, like I'm already working with guarantees and stuff in my offer, and
Awesome.
so that I'm already doing. I mean, a majority of the stuff. The only thing that I like I said, I had a VA with this marketing agency, so I didn't hire him specifically like for Jake's coaching. It was like through an agency or something. Are you talking more about that? Or are you talking about like finding an agency that will
So we're
like
going to show you how to do both. So for instance, when I had a DMer, when I had an assistant coach, I didn't hire through anybody. I used someone I already knew through the industry. It just works better. Like it was a guy that used to train with me for over 3 years. Like he was like one of my sales managers. So I knew it was someone I could trust that's going to get the job done. We're just showing you when to hire these people, who to like run them as well. So now you got the initial steps done, but how can we get those fine tuning? How can we maximize our overall time on each area? So your level of leadership is going to go completely different. We're going to teach you how to do projections on these people, how to track what work they're doing, how to communicate with those individuals, what payouts that you'll get off of those individuals, what payouts that they'll get, and just being able to track their overall performance. Are you kind of already doing that with those guys as well?
I mean, I would say yes, but like the performance has been zero, so it doesn't really matter. I've done well with DMing through LinkedIn for a while.
Okay.
Where I've signed like 3 or 4 people through LinkedIn. I mean, that's sending hundreds of messages to get 4 people. So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's hard because it's a shitload of work. But what are your? I mean, when you were doing it well, what was your return on that? Like, for every 100 you sent, you got 10 calls, or for every 100 you sent, you got 1 call, or
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a huge numbers game when you're starting off with the DMing, but when you can factor that off to somebody else, and when you actually start running ads, and when your ads start coming in, you're actually getting some engagement off of that. I'm not spending nearly as much time in the DM because the only ones I'm dealing with are the ones that actually want to get on a call, and for me, closing is easy. So I'd have someone else write out a script for them. I'd sit with them for a week right next to me, show them exactly what to do, the processes behind it, how to like respond to them. So they had like basically a cheat code of what to say to where it seemed like it was like they were talking to me essentially.
And
Right.
you did that primarily through Instagram, Facebook? Is that were those yours?
Yeah. So for me, Facebook was huge because an older demographic, that's where I got a lot more. Like I might get 2 likes or 10 likes or 5 messages, but that was giving me like Instagram, you can get 100 likes and people aren't really engaging back sometimes.
Mhm.
So for me, I would go into paying attention to weekly who was liking my posts. I'd go in and have normal conversations. I wasn't like trying to sell them off the bat. I'm like, hey, I just noticed that you've liked my last 3 posts. Like, out of curiosity, what were the couple things that really drew your attention? Or, what's the thing that you're getting the most out of that I am posting? So I could start kind of doing like little surveys and I could start figuring out what things people are really resonating with versus the things that I probably need to stop doing. And
Okay.
once I got that, I'd ask them like, cool. So you mentioned like you like my nutrition, like what type of nutrition plan are you following? Oh, I'm not following one. Oh, okay, cool. Like, are we working out? What is your program? I'm curious. What do you do for a living? And then I'm just asking them normal, basic conversations. I run through that maybe 4 or 5 different questions, have like a built-in relationship with them, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, if I could tell by now, I'm an online coach. I do some in-person training, whatever the case may be. Have you ever worked with a coach? And then they might say yes, or hey, I would, but and they start opening up and telling you their problems. Hey, Jake, I totally get that you've had some issues. I feel like I could probably help you if you want to just jump on like a quick 10-minute phone call, just so I can get a better indication of who you are and get some more personality behind, like really understand like what you need. And then from there, if this is like a good fit, we could always talk about, another, more in-depth phone call. They would like that, or they would say, yeah, I'm good. Okay, cool. If you don't want to do this now, what's your biggest challenge right now? They'd say nutrition. I'd send them over like a free resource,
Yeah,
or
right. Yeah.
maybe, or I have a 70-page PDF on like detailed macros. I'll let
Mhm.
that go for 250, and then I follow up with them 2 weeks later and be like, Jake, did you get a chance to check out that resource I sent you over? Like, how's that working? Most people are gonna say, honestly, man, I haven't even fucked with this since I got it. Damn, okay, well, how's the workouts going? I ain't done that either. So it sounds like we're consistently in that same perpetual cycle. Do you want to talk about little options that maybe you can work with me like, once every 2 weeks or something, and we can like reduce something down that makes sense for you financially? Because if that's what it is, I want to help them, but still gets them bought in. They're seeing, man, this guy actually gives a shit. He sold me a package, but then has already came back and is, following up with me. And I used to have a list of follow-ups I'd have my DMers do for me. Like it'd be like my hot list. So, hey, here's
Mhm.
all the people that have bought something or engaged with me. Let's reach back out, see what they need now. Those are the ones I get the most feedback from, especially Facebook, going into different groups. Like I went into sales and marketing groups that were for men. I'd go in there and figure out like what other people were clicking on. I'd just friend request a shit ton of people from there, ask them some questions. Instagram, I would probably follow people that were following, Alex Hermosi and all these other guys that are high level that want to optimize their stuff. And I go in and look at their comments and I go friend request those people. Just, yes, it's a lot of time. It's a numbers game, but I would maximize my overall reach by figuring out which people I really wanted to identify with. I'd look up dad groups on Facebook. There's a group for everything, right?
No, no, I get it. I'm in a ton of groups. Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yep. So you're right. It's a numbers game. It's a lot of fucking time, and that's where you want to start delegating that time off to someone else. Because as soon as I got to say, "Here's a list, go ham," dude, that saved me probably, I want to say, 6 to 8 hours a week alone of not having to
Mhm.
DM, which I get a lot more shit done. Because then with the ones that
Yeah.
do are hot, they book a call and then I'm closing them. Are you doing like a 1 or 2 call close? What are you typically doing right now?
One, I try to have options. Like I'm playing with stuff. So most of the time it's one. And I've probably read 10 sales books. I mean, just to overcome objections and to be more comfortable on sales calls and stuff like that. But I try to have like a few back pocket offers if need be,
Yeah.
like, oh, like if you're not ready, like we can always do like a free week, and that way they can see like what the coaching would look like for the week. And then normally after the free week they do close. They just need to see the value in it because all my clients get 4 templates when they sign up too. So they get like a weight loss template, an eating out guide, alcohol drinking guide, and then
Oh, that's awesome. Love that.
a snack guide that has like 50 options on it.
Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, so I once I provide all the value, and then through Trainerize, like you can do a digitized meal plan, and uh, we'd have our check-ins twice a week, and so it's once they see all the value, they usually end up signing up. But I mean, I've had some that just like signed up for the free week and then didn't use it, because that's the other thing that's hard, is that when it's free, they don't care. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, if they have no skin in the game, they just don't care. So it's sometimes the free week doesn't pan out for that reason alone. I've never had someone take the free week and not sign up, but when people like won't even start, they don't usually sign up.
Are you doing any, have you done any like challenges or any scholarships?
I haven't done any challenges, but and I'm not really sure what you mean by scholarships.
So those are going to be unique things. And so again, I'm not recycling the wheel. Like a lot of the stuff you got done, right? But there's different ways that we can maximize it. So every little thing that you might have, there's a way that we could probably learn something slightly better or adjust what we currently got to make this more impactful. But for you, a huge thing, huge would be like a cross pollination strategy. So maybe
Mhm.
you're partnered with like another nutritionist or another coach that deals with those type of individuals as well, like a heavy set obese. Their audience gets now gets to see who you are. Your audience to see them. So now we're engaging twice as many followers. Now we have more free resources to pump out to brand new leads. And now you're being seen as an expert on another platform that you didn't originally have before. That could be
Yeah.
impactful. Scholarship strategy. Hey guys, it's Coach Jake. Really excited because over the next week, I'm going to be running a scholarship strategy to where you could earn 1 to 2 free months of coaching. At the end, you select a random winner. The ones that don't win, you'll go into their DMs and say, "Hey, Jeremy, really appreciate you filling this out. Seems like this is a big goal for you. Unfortunately, you weren't the winner, but because you filled that out, I'm offering my coaching services at 10% off for a limited time." It builds urgency, it builds excitement, and it's an easy way to get a shit ton of people in the door.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's a great idea. Yeah, I even thought that the next ad that I run, because I mean I don't want to stop running ads. Like I have had success with it. I just like it I'm trying to figure out the copy still, and like what draws most people in. I actually just got this late. I don't know if you were on that webinar thing that Alex Ramosi held on Saturday. But his book $100 million leads just came out. And so I've been listening to it, and one of the big things that he says is like, instead of doing the ad that is just like book a call, like you do your ad with, like I give away my templates, or like 1 or 2 of the templates, and then that gets all the numbers and the emails that you can start following up with that are warm, interested leads.
Oh yeah, yeah, I got that. Yeah, so that would be huge as well. Other thing that are you doing any do you have do any like private groups for your current clients? Any groups for people that aren't clients yet?
So I have a private group for my clients on Trainerize. Uh, and like I message them daily in there, like whether it be motivation or a recipe or something in there. And then I don't have a publicly like private, or sorry, a public group though. No.
So that could be huge because if you put a private or like a public group in there, but you also include the people, the 30 plus people that you're already, training, you put them through a WhatsApp group. Now, individuals like me who are trying to get to know who you are, I have access to talking to other individuals that are already bragging about you. So I'm going to be able to build trust on what you do. I'm going to be able to hear about testimonials that you provide. So by the time I actually get on a sales call with you, I feel like I already trust you and know
Mhm.
you. And now we're being able to have more intimate one-on-one conversations toward my goals.
Right.
So that's just yet another strategy that's going to get you past those humps. So essentially, man, we're going to show you a bunch of different ways to maximize every resource possible. So it sounds like retention rate's been pretty good for you. You said the majority of you're getting off of referrals. We're going to show you different ways to incentivize people to come to you first. We'll show you different ways on how to maximize your local outreach, how to do it more efficiently, how to do it a little bit more faster. And then as far as the daily programming, how to implement, some of the newest technology to save you more time, which sounds like some of it you're already doing. But then also, how do we navigate if someone's already paid, but they're not listening, they're not following through? How do we deal with that? How do we mitigate it? How can we get them to be incentivized to execute on a more consistent basis without us constantly having to tell them to do so, right? So we're going to show you different strategies behind that. The cool thing is everything I've been showing you, you're going to get access to both of those if you went through mastery level, which I really feel like you'd probably be a great candidate for. Someone of your level and expertise and able to pick up on a lot of this stuff, it's going to be able to, you're going to be able to get past that 10K a lot sooner. So again, are you also tracking like your churn rate? Are you guys doing like, how are you guys collecting your data? How are you guys tracking all that right now?
So the specific data on churn and stuff and those the exact numbers I don't have. I don't even I mean like that's something that I do need help with for sure. Is I don't have like hardly any of that data. As far as churn goes, uh one thing I actually saw the Chad guy, the one who runs or owns the company, the CEO,
Yeah.
that I started implementing was, and I heard Alex Ramosi say this too, was to re-sign people before their contracts expire, like halfway
Yep.
through or whatever. And so I've started implementing that now to decrease churn a little bit. And I got 2 or 3 people to re-sign for like 6 more months,
That's
just
awesome.
because just because I went in a little bit sooner. So I think that will cut down on churn significantly. I just need I've only done it like 2 or 3 times, so I need to like now make it a part of it.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to kind of flash through this last bit a little bit again, because this is just going to show you how to do everything on a higher level. So some of the stuff that you already have implemented, you're just going to know how to do it on the next highest scale. So when to hire an assistant coach, that's going to be huge. How to manage these people, how to really track every little thing that they're doing, how to stay in communication with them, performance markers and KPIs. If you're not actually tracking these things on a regular basis, you're doing yourself a disservice, because then you're not going to have any, predictable data every single month.
Hmm.
So we're going to teach you how to do all these things, annual reviews, which a lot of people that are trying to get into this business don't know how to do. So again, it's going to be really the fine tuning of every little situation. How to amplify the WhatsApp group chat, so you can start stepping away from that, having your virtual assistant doing some of these things. So also, what do you do with individuals that you have employed that are having a rough week, that are in a slump? How do we get them back in? How do we dial them in? How are we tracking? How can we communicate with them? And then again, these are going to be huge too. As you start building your actual business, having a payroll system on board for these individuals, right? And then understanding when to delegate certain responsibilities to each individuals. As strategy, again, what we've already done, how we can make it even better, how to scale each and every group, how to maximize your overall marketing and content creation. So this is going to be all different tactics than what you've currently done on the foundational areas. Okay. Email marketing. Yes, most of us have an email list, but if we're being honest, that list doesn't do a whole lot. How can we actually make this more engaging and people actually want to email you back and get some clients off of this thing, right? And then again, this is huge too. Not a lot of people are able to convert an actual landing page to this. So we're going to give you every option on how to do. If you get to a point where you just don't want to market anymore, we have companies that you can utilize. We show you how to utilize it, things of that nature. So everything here is again going to be fine tuning everything. You had not talked about really making sure that we're maximizing our overall offer. That's what we're doing here. Okay. So again, this can be everything's going to be on a much higher scale on all these things. Okay. Oops. Go
And
back.
how long does it usually take to get through these like modules and course videos and stuff like that?
Yeah, the videos pending on like which one we're looking at, but it could be anywhere between 2 to 30 minutes. Okay. So
Oh yeah.
again, yeah, so it's gonna be if it's gonna be more an advanced system, it's gonna take a little bit longer, right? To make sure that you're really understanding the ins and outs. Now, the cool thing is as well, what I used to do is I'd go through the written material first. So I'd kind of like already have something in my head. Then when I watched it, it made more sense to me. That's just kind of how I did it.
Hmm.
Especially if you're trying to be resourceful with your time, maybe popping in the module when you're doing cardio at night, when you're driving home from the gym, and then by the time you get home, you're spending 30 to 45 minutes executing whatever it is you learned about. That's kind of how I did it. When I was a master level trainer, I was training 40 people a week, 2 to 3 times a week, charging 150 a session, working from 4:30 in the morning to 8:30 at night. Weird lag time in the middle of the day. So instead of like fucking off or taking a nap, I was popping in a module during that down period of time. So again, I'd say if you can do literally 10 to 20 hours per week, you're in a really solid spot. If you can do 20 hours or more, you're in a dangerously great spot. All right, so this is going to be huge too. Are you doing any type of financing options for people right now?
Like as far as payment wise?
Yeah, like do you have like different payment processing systems that you can help them get in if they can't afford your actual program?
Like, do you mean paying monthly, or like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm misunderstanding.
No, my fault. I'm probably not being clear. So say for instance, you can't afford my monthly program that I'm selling you. You can't afford month to month. Maybe my rates are too high. Financing is going to be another option where we can utilize different resources and get them in. So like PayPal credit would be an option of financing. Sweet Pay. Are you
Oh,
utilizing any of those?
no, no, I'm not.
So we're going to show you how to do that. That right there alone, my man, will take you to a whole nother level because some of those financing options have it to where they're getting approved through that company. You get the money up front and they're making monthly payments to them. So you don't have to worry about turnover or someone not paying their bills. That's
Hmm.
massive. So now
Yeah,
you're like that
that's really
guy
cool.
that might not be starting till September. If we had some financing options, we could have got him going or taught you how to do delayed start dates, but have money come out at a specific time. That way you're not worried if he's going to actually pay you, if he's going to ghost you. It's coming, right? So these are going to be all things that we can do. Ambassadors. This is going to be huge too. So if you've got a couple people like that kid that you mentioned that you helped us drop a ton of weight, having him or individuals like him that really are believing in your program, having those individuals on your roster to where maybe I want to join your program, but I'm skeptical. Hey, totally get that. Why don't you talk to Chad or whatever the kid's name is? Chad can go, hey, I've been on Jake's program for a year. This is my personal story. Yes, I lost the weight, but more importantly, this is the confidence I've gained from his knowledge and expertise. And more importantly, he treated me like a human being. He was here for this and this and this and this and this, right? They're going to be able to pinpoint from their own personal experiences why you should be the coach that they go with versus the 85,000 other online coaches,
Yeah, right.
right? That would be huge as well. So we teach you how to do that. Again, this is going to be something as well, nailing down upfront cash collected. So again, I'm trying to maximize the amount we can get up front because then we're going to have guaranteed money. So these will be all things. I'm going to kind of flip back over here, my man. So these are going to be all things mastery level. Okay. Now let me go to this. So I'm going to show you where I think you're probably at on this. Sorry, this is taking long, man. You're in a unique situation, so I had to kind of show you the whole gambit. Normally, it's people are usually either on mastery for sure or just 10K. So you're in a good spot to where you're kind of like going in both areas.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, so for instance, for you, like sales tracking basics, this is going to be huge for you. We're going to give you all the referrals. We're going to give you all the resources to make sure you can track this more efficiently. So you have predictable data. What are you doing for your onboarding process right now? What does that look like?
So when I bring a new client on, the first thing I do is send them the waiver and the invoice. Then once they get that filled out, I send them the consultation link from Trainerize. And then once
Okay.
they get the link from Trainerize, they do all that. I make them their meal plan. Email them their templates, and then I get their workouts up and just text them and tell them like, hey, give it all a look over. Let me know if you have any questions. If not, like we'll get this thing going on Monday, Tuesday, whatever day they're starting.
Yeah. So is your turnaround time like about 24 to 48 hours? Is that what it's typically
To get them
like?
going, like to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean theoretically I could get them started in like 30 minutes. But I mean but yes, typically people need like the day to like mentally prepare to start
For
the next
sure.
day.
Yep. Cool. I got you. So right now, this is kind of as far as objection handling. How are we doing with that? Yeah, I think you said you mentioned you're pretty good with closing. Is that right? What's your closing percentage?
It's pretty high. I would say for most sales calls, it's between, that 70% range. And the reason that I say most of them is just because like there are some people that like they hear 350 a month and it literally didn't matter what I provide. I even have the guarantee in place of like, yeah, I literally will guarantee that we make progress in this program or I'll give you a full refund. And they're like, yeah, it's still too expensive. And I'm like, okay. Well, I ask people the question like, what do you care about more, price or the results? And they'll tell me like, well, the price is really the thing that matters the most. And I'm like, well, then I'm probably not even the coach for you and they're probably not the client I want to work with anyways. Because if it's always
Yeah.
about price for them, then if they don't see exactly this and this results, they're going to get pissed and want to leave a really bad review.
An easy way to get past that when you're doing maybe on that, if you're doing a one call close, is really figuring out like, hey, getting some personal information on like their budget, like find out what they do, right?
Mhm.
And then 2, like, how often are we going out to eat a week? Is that McDonald's, Starbucks? Is it a nice steakhouse? What are we doing on a regular basis? I want to know. You know, do you smoke cigarettes? If so, how many packs? Do you smoke marijuana? If so, is it a dime
How
bag?
much?
Like,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So by the time they say it's too expensive and you already have this tallied up, well, it looks like you're already spending, you know, X amount of hundreds of dollars per month. If we just restructure this into something that's actually maybe a return investment, because if you're going on cost, you're going to sacrifice quality. If you go on quality, you're going to pay a slightly higher premium, right? So I tell people just like what you said, hey, you know what? If this is to where you're only going to go based on cost, you're going to essentially be in the same predicament you've been in the last 6 years because you're trying to find a quick fix for that $50 trainer. I'm probably not that guy because I actually care about your hormonal profile, how to reset your metabolism. These are things that are going to take us time to work through. If you're looking for a quick fix, I'm not your guy.
Yeah, and
I'll,
that's ultimately the where I find that issue. Anybody that's coming from like referral or are here for, you know, like a quality coach that, you know, they kind of understand going in. That's why on like Facebook ads now I put in a qualifying question of like, are you ready to financially invest in your transformation and your change?
yeah.
And so I've only just started doing that, so I don't have any data yet to back like it working, but I imagine that the leads will start coming through a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Once they realize, oh, this means there's going to be a cost associated to this thing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So, real quick recap on everything, but I'm kind of leaning more so for you kind of being in mastery level. The reason why I say mastery is because you'll have the 10K accelerator program along with it if you want to touch up on things. But for where you're headed with the right guidance, dude, you're literally just a couple steps away from having that outbreak from 8 to 10K to actually getting to 15 to 20. And I think this could happen relatively fast. So again, the pre-work, we're just trying to alleviate you being burnt out, which right now doesn't sound like you're at all burnt out. You're right around that threshold where you want to get to. But phase 1, this is kind of I'm kind of basically this is like a dummy down version of what we just went over, a little bit
Mm,
more simplistic. Okay. So now we're trying to get you past 10K a month and making sure your program is 100% a 10 out of 10. We make sure we have the right team culture, the right people in your program, as far as not the clients, but the people that we're going to be hiring to make sure that we're actually going to be able to scale appropriately. Phase 2, now we're actually trying to scale this thing much bigger. We actually have a sales team now, and now we have the first layer of management in each one of those sales positions. Okay.
mm,
Then phase 3, this is where you're more toward that full CEO range. Now we're showing you really how to develop those leaders. And now you're getting to that point where you're kind of stepping closer into those 7 figures. And now where you can take those vacations, 2 weeks, not have to worry about checking your email every 2 seconds. The things run kind of seamlessly for you. Quick recap. Okay. So for mastery level, you'll either have a 6 or 12 month, you'll have your customized game planning call. You're going to have that one-on-one coach the entire duration. You'll have one-on-one sales coaching as well, which will be huge. Probably take you from 60 to 70 to now maybe closing down even at a higher clip, maybe 80%. You'll have the Facebook community CEO trainings, 4 days a week of mastery group calls, which is huge, one-on-one private coaching calls weekly, 24 tech support, done for you programming. You'll have the bonus certification for your assistant coaches as well, and you'll have both course curriculums. You'll have the 10K and the mastery level. Okay, so
yeah.
you'll have all that for life. Okay, I'm only going to show you a couple testimonials I think is going to be applicable to you. This is Zach. He joined in June 2021. He was an in-person trainer making around 40 to 50K a year. He's now 15 times the income. So he's a CEO. He's kind of stepped away from the coaching aspect, but he's a 7-figure earner. He has a whole team underneath him. Next person, this is Jen Richards. She's an IFBB pro. This is her husband, Darren. Her husband, Darren, is kind of like the closer for her company.
Mhm.
Her goal was to leave her physician's assistant job and become coaching full time. She tried it in 2015, but really couldn't get to that threshold she was looking for. Joined us in 2021. Now she's hitting 100K a month on a consistent basis, and she has a staff size of 12. So she's a 7-figure earner. Like last month, they ran a re-sign special. I think they contracted 250K in that month, collected 140 of that.
Mm.
Nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it can happen, right?
Yeah, yeah, right. I get it.
Now the averages are stupid. On average, our mastery coach students 6 times their monthly revenue. So insane. After 6 months, they're adding an additional 20K to their. I'm not going to read all this. You can read this, right?
Yeah, yeah, I got you. Yeah.
The point is, they're getting results. Same thing with like people that aren't nearly as far as you. The average individual in our 10K program at the end of 4 months is making 6 to 8K a month on a regular basis that has no experience. You do. So for someone that's going to hit a 10K a month, it takes them 13 weeks. For you, I'd expect this to be done significantly faster than that, right? You're already several steps ahead of the majority of individuals. The students who do stay with us for 12 months have 97 clients on their roster on average. Those individuals, 97 clients, are averaging 366,000 a year. Okay. So 10K programs getting scored a 4.6 out of 5. Our mastery levels getting scored a 4.3 out of 5. Any questions on that?
No, that's good. Yeah, I know, I appreciate it. Just more about like the y'all's pricing and how that breaks down.
Yeah, 100%. So do you kind of agree that you're probably more geared toward mastery level is what I think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see how I'm kind of like riding in that middle gray area
Yeah,
on
you're
it.
flirting, man. Like you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
I know. And like, yeah. And again, I'm just looking for whatever's gonna kind of just propel me forward. Again, like those numbers are great. Of course I would love to 6 times my income, but like, yeah, I'm looking for something that's going to move me forward, like whether that's with skills or whatever it is. So I appreciate that, and that's really cool. But of course, like I would love for that to be me, but I understand that I'm more about like where I want to be in 10 years, not necessarily like if that happens in 6 months, then I'll sing y'all's praises everywhere I possibly can. I'll streak through the streets if that's if that's how it goes. I mean, that's great, but
Well, so
you
where
know,
you're at right now with that 6 to 8K, if you started, I think the game plan for you is maybe we start with the accelerator and we clear up any things, any loose ends, and you start implementing some of those things that you said you haven't utilized yet. So some of the tracking uh, for statistics, some of the different resources that you can utilize for like financing options and different challenges and things of that nature. The small tweaks could get you past there. Let's just say that you kill it in like 2 months. We can always ascend you into mastery. So it's not like you're stuck in one or the other. But if
yeah,
we
yeah,
start with 10K, it's significantly less. So there's going to be a payment plan of 8,800, a paid in full option of 7,497. Okay. So really simple here. Whichever one you went with, let's just say in 2 months, you're already ready for mastery. We can apply the amount that you haven't used toward your actual mastery level. So that would, reduce that overall cost because that's where I kind of think you're at right now. Any questions on that so far?
no, I mean, I'm assuming that what's the payment plan? Is that like just over the 4 months essentially?
Yeah, so we'll go over that, but I really want to show you this as well. We actually guarantee you'll 2.5 times your investment, your enrollment term on the 10K accelerator. So to qualify, it's pretty standard. You got to attend one group support call each week, attend at least 2 private one-on-one coach calls each month, which is there's only 2 per month. Attend your game planning call. You must charge at least the bare minimum suggested price of $250 or more, which you already do, and we're going to raise your prices. Client must run a scholarship following the scholarship guidelines laid out in the course curriculum within 90 days of the program. This is only going to get you even more individuals. I think this scholarship program thing could be one of the game changers for you initially. Client cannot spend more than 2 weeks on the optional certification. You don't need that. You've got multiple certifications. You must complete 100% of your course material, and then you're not allowed to have any late payments. If you do all that, show up and do the work, we guarantee you'll 2.5 times your investment or you get 100% refund.
So that would be like what would that be, 17 whatever in 4 months?
Correct. So if you did,
17.6.
yeah, if you did 8,800 times 2.5. Yeah, you're essentially would be making right around 22,000 at the end of 4 months.
In the 4 months, so divided by 4, that would be, yeah, okay, yeah. So that would be like an additional 5,500 a month.
Correct.
Got
Yep.
it.
So the worst case scenario, you do everything you're supposed to, show up and do the work, you don't get it, you get your money back, or you 2.5 times this bad boy, right? So we've helped nearly 3,000 students. Year to date, we've only had return 1.6%.
And if you don't mind me asking, what was the reason? But I mean, like for those like 1.6%, was it just like a fluke situations or what? I mean, if you know anything about that.
So typically, like if they're done everything they're supposed to, it's very rare. Like again, 1.6%, 98.4% of people are succeeding, right? Every once in a while, there's going to be that one one or two people that, regardless of what they put in, maybe they don't have any type of following at all. We really help with individuals that don't have a following. Maybe they only did the bare necessity. I always tell it's kind of like when you coach people. One more set, one more rep. The effort that you put in is what you'll get out, right?
Yeah, totally agree. I tell people all the time, like if you do the things I'm telling you to do, there's no way it doesn't work. Like there's like you have to, maybe you're a medical situation, right? Like you have an actual hormonal imbalance that you need to see a physician for, and like that's why it didn't work, but like that's 1% of people.
Yeah, 100%. And the ones that aren't like maximizing, it's because they didn't do it. I got a
Yeah.
guy that I just had a re-sign call with, and he's like, man, this course is great, but I didn't commit to it. I sent out maybe 15 to 20 DMs a week. I'm like, a week? Man, you should have been doing that like a day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, there's a reason why certain people aren't doing it. A lot of people say they want this type of money, but there's responsibilities and consequences to obtaining that, right? So if you treat this like a career, you'll get paid like one,
No, I
right?
totally understand. I mean, I was sending out hundreds of DMs. I mean, with like LinkedIn a week, and that was
Yeah.
just LinkedIn, because I think Instagram and Facebook has like caps on it. I don't know that you can like unlimited DM across
Yeah, because they'll
Instagram and
start
Facebook.
blocking you. They'll put you on that Facebook jail and stuff like that. If
Yeah.
yeah. So what we could do, the average individual, roughly, let's say for instance, if you're going with a payment plan, let's just say you put down 3K, that brings your payments down to 5,800. We divide that over 3 more months or over 4 months. That's 1,450 a month. If you need to, we can always spread that out over 6. Now, if paid in full kind of looks something that appealing to you because you want to save an additional over 1,600, we could take that to a split payment, and we could take that 7,497, do half of that. So you put down half today, and I'll give you 60 days from your start date to pay out the second half.
Oh, okay.
So 7,497 divided by 2. So you're looking at 3,748.50 down today, and then 60 days, you pay that remaining amount.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, the price points are all fine. It's not, yeah, that's all great. So to be totally transparent with you, I'm interviewing you guys, and I'm interviewing Vince Del Monte's
Yeah, Vince Del
program.
Monte,
Yeah, and then also Tanner, I don't know his last name. I'm sorry.
Tanner
Tanner.
Chister.
Yeah, yeah. I'm interviewing all you guys, and you maybe have experience with them or their programs, maybe people that have come from them. What makes you guys unique to like what they're offering in their programs as well.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I haven't really talked to anyone that I know who Vince Del Monte is because I'm old. So I remember the YouTube days.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I've never really ran into anyone that actually did his program. Oh, I do. I have a guy that I used to train in person that tried his program. But I really haven't heard much outside of him. The other one that we hear a lot of is Tanner Chister. I will say, and I want you to go through with that and have that call, but it's significantly, the price points are completely different, like significantly higher. But we've had a lot of individuals that came from elite CEOs. The main feedback that we get is our one-on-one support is completely different. So
sure.
the presentation you'll see is going to be completely different as well. So we're pretty transparent. We show you the ins and outs of our program. I actually showed you both of our programs, right? So you can make
Yeah,
sure
right.
you're understanding exactly what you're getting. The other thing is when you're looking at programs, figuring out what their guarantees are. Everyone has a money back guarantee. I haven't met any companies yet that have a 2.5 or 3 times your investment guarantee. That's going to be big. We're backed by the Better Business Bureau. That's huge. That legitimizes who we are on the online space. So there's going to be a lot of companies that make a lot of accusations for what they can do. We're actually backed by one. Also figuring out who they're accredited through. We're accredited through ACE, NASM, and ISA. Those are huge players. We're also partnered with True Coach. Those are huge players in the fitness field as well. But again, it's going to come down to the one-on-one support. You're getting a lot of touch points. I know that you had said you don't need a ton of support, but it's always nice to have that, right? If you're looking for a structured game plan and a coach to tell you, hey, Jake, you need to do this time. We did really good on X, Y, and Z, but this week we need to focus on this, right? To make sure that you're scaling appropriately. So that's going to be the differences.
No, and I loved everything you said, man, really. And I want to be sure that if I do go with you guys, that you get like the credit, because you did a fantastic job presenting all this and everything. But yeah, I loved everything you said, and I know somebody that's done the elite CEOs and then Vince's as well. And he said something similar about the elite CEOs, like support being real low, and so like that call's not being, uh, maybe what he needed at the time. Uh, but yeah, I'm sorry, I don't even think we covered it. What was the price point on the mastery one?
Oh, yeah, let me go into that. Sorry about that. Okay. If you're going into like the 12-month program, payment plan 26.9, paid in full 21.9. If you do 6 months, 15,450, paid in full 12,450.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, and I would probably, can you scroll back up? I'm sorry. Because I'm really interested in like probably the year plan, I guess. I mean, I don't want to do less, so
100%.
the
Yep.
so yeah, what would that roughly be, like 2,200 a month as well? That's the payment plan one.
Yeah, the payment plan one depends on really what you're going to be putting down on that one. So, for instance, let's say that you put down, let's see, I'm trying to think of a number in your budget that would be, obviously the larger you put down, the less reoccurring amount that you
Yeah.
have ongoing. We can always spread that one. Well, this would be over 12 months. The payment plan would be over 12 months. So 26,000, let's just say you put down, say minus, whoops. 11. If you put down 8K, your monthly payments over the next 11 months would be just over 1,600.
Okay.
So why'd I choose that? Because if you're getting to the point where you're making 15 to 20K, 8K down is not as bad, but it's not overly high, and your monthly reoccurring payments aren't as drastic. I want to make sure whatever your monthly payments are, it's like it feels reasonable, not like holy shit, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't want that feeling.
No, it
Now,
totally makes sense.
if you did the PIF, same thing there. For that one, I could get creative. We could really break that into like literally 3 payments if you wanted to on the PIF.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
we could save you 5K that way.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I could definitely make any of those work really. Like I said, I mean, I'll be resourceful in the sense that that's what I'll need to do to get into one of these programs. So I totally get it. And so I mean, I don't mind spending $20,000 if it means that I'll make $20,000 every month. Like it doesn't, because
Right.
it's about compounding over time. So I totally get it. I think that's everything I need from you, man. But I really like everything that you said. I love that you guys are backed by the Better Business Bureau. Yeah, I loved everything you talked about.
Let me ask you a couple questions. Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it, man.
What were a couple of things, whether it was in Mastery or 10K, what were a couple of things that stood out for you that you like, that you feel like could really help your business?
One is like working with, I think the biggest thing for me is working with somebody that's already done it. And so they can kind of like tell me if it's normal, if it's not normal. I mean, everyone's different, every niche is different, but like something in the sense that like, hey, these numbers are bad, or these numbers are way below average. Like even if I could just have somebody working with me one on one to tell me that stuff. And I know I just said I don't need support, which is like contradictory to this statement, but like that's really helpful. And then I think maximizing a lot of those organic avenues is something that I'm not super sure of at the moment. So I think that would be helpful. Trying to think what else. Yeah, uh is there a different guarantee for the mastery program, or is it the same? Is there not one?
Mastery is 3 times your investment guarantee.
Oh, okay.
So 10K is 2.5 times your guarantee. Mastery is 3 times your guarantee.
Okay, cool.
And if you need me to, I can always send over some screenshots of like what each program has to offer. So like, from 10K and Mastery, because you're gonna have both if you go into Mastery. And I can
Hmm.
also send you over some client averages for Mastery. I think it's gonna be more important for you to have that knowledge based upon that program. Because I really feel like that's probably gonna be ideally like where you could really maximize your time in.
No, I totally, yeah, no, that works for me. Yeah, that would be great.
Do you feel like are you feeling pretty confident that this would get you to the results that you're looking for?
Well, I mean, I don't really know you guys that well, so like I like that I like your guarantees for sure. So I can't. This is the first coaching program I'm going to do, so I don't even. It's hard to know. It's hard to say. That's why, like, when I get the other calls from the other two guys, I'm going to understand better about like what you guys offer as being a slam dunk as opposed to like them just being like, well, we're just going to help you maximize social media. And I'm like, well, I already did that, so like
Right.
I don't need to pay you to do that. Or if I don't even really, something I don't even love about the elite CEOs that I've already seen is that they have their setters and their closers and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's, well, one, I probably can't afford whatever it is anyway. And two, I don't need you to do that. Like I need better business strategies like kind of on my own, which is what you guys are offering through like the modules and stuff. So I still want to hear them out
Yeah.
either way, but that's, I would say, definitely a win in y'all's column as opposed to some of the other stuff.
When's your call with those individuals?
I have one today at 2 and one tomorrow at 11. So I'm going to have everything done, ready, and make a decision by Wednesday.
Okay, cool. Why don't we just set up a time to even follow up whether you want to go with us or not? I'd love to hear like your feedback. Is that cool?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to do another like Zoom meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do it at the same time if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. You were 10 a.m., I believe.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Central.
Yeah, cool. I'm central too. Awesome. So, and then in the meantime, man, I'll also send you some condensed videos of like what we went over. It's like my sales manager kind of flying through stuff. But that way, if you're like, you're gonna have a ton of fucking notes by the end of this thing. Like, so I want you to make sure you have like, what did he say again?
Yeah,
And then
right.
that way you have some references. Is that cool?
No, that's great. And that'll give me time too, because I want to go expand my business credit card limit anyways, just because like I need more space for a lot of this stuff. So that'll give me
Yeah.
time to go to Chase and like get them to raise, or maybe I can call. I'm not really sure.
Gotcha. Cool, man. If you have any other questions that pop up, the number that I text you from is my specific number. So just shoot me a text. If there's something that just randomly pops up that you didn't think to ask me before, I'll make sure I take care of you. Cool.
Jeremy, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Have an awesome day. Good luck on the calls, man. I like to hear hear from you. Jesus, can't speak on Wednesday.
Yeah, sounds good. Just email
All
me
right,
the
man.
same Zoom link and I'll add it to my calendar.
Gotcha. We'll do.
All right. Thank you.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Later.